It doesn't take much band rehearsal before your mellophone becomes quite dirty and covered in little streaks and splotches. Maintaining a clean instrument is important for your health and the health and functionality of your mello. But let's face it, the most important thing by far is making sure your mellophone stays nice and shiny. If you are paying more attention to the person waving their hands up front than to the beautiful bell glimmering in the sunlight directly in front of your face, you're doing it all wrong. Step 1. Disassemble your mellophone. The first thing you should do is take out all of your slides. Make sure whenever you remove a slide that you press down the corresponding valve to avoid building up air pressure. Though obtusely amusing, that signature pop is not what you want to hear when removing a slide. When deep cleaning your mello, you want to clean every individual piece. Make sure to keep all the small pieces together so you can keep track of them all. Next, you're going to disassemble the valves. Remove the valve and unscrew the valve cap. If your valves have felt or rubber rings, do not forget to remove them before cleaning the rest of the valve. Don't forget to remove the caps on the bottom of your valves as well. Most valves can usually be disassembled further, but this is as far as we need to go for cleaning purposes. Notice how much lighter your mellophone is after removing all of its pieces. Remember that if you are ever confused about anything, just take a picture of it before disassembling. Now that your horn has been fully disassembled, it's bath time. Step 2. Wash your mellophone. To begin, rinse down your horn with warm water to remove the topmost layer of dirt, grime, and evidence of the 1 or 2 times you were naughty and didn't wear your gloves. If your instrument has a gold lacquer finish, you must remember to not use hot water, as it will risk damaging the lacquer, as well as your happiness every time you put your horn up to play. Warm water is always your friend. Next, you want to wash out the inside of your horn. An instrument snake, also known as the lange Schlange, is the best tool for this job. Use soap, water, and ample scrubbing to remove any and all of the unspeakable horrors lurking within the piping of your mello. If you need to take a break upon seeing what comes out of your lead pipe, this is totally fine. Once you have regained your composure, return to where you left off. A slide brush is another great tool for cleaning out your horn. If you don't have an instrument snake or a slide brush, make sure you run a generous amount of soap and water through each of your pipes and valve casings, and do what scrubbing you can. A paper towel may work in a pinch. Once you have thoroughly cleaned the interior of your mellophone, it's time for the most, and afterwards least, satisfying part, cleaning the outside. Use soap and water to scrub every surface of your mellophone. If you have a soft brush or cloth to aid in your scrubbing escapade, use it. However, your hands are a great option too. Remember to be very cognizant of what you use to clean your mello to avoid scratches or damage of any kind. Indiscriminately rinse your mello so you don't leave a single sud. You will probably have to repeat this several times in order to satisfactorily clean your mello. The bell is the most important part, of course. Just remember after the final rinsing to meticulously drain your horn of all water. If you haven't spun your mello at least 6 to 7 times, you are at risk of soaking yourself at some point within the next 3 to 5 seconds. Dry your mellophone with the softest thing you can find, and do your best to spot dry it as not to leave streaks. Again, be cognizant of anything you could use that would scratch your horn. Don't use a paper towel for this part. Letting your mellophone air dry will create extremely annoying watermarks, so it's best to dry it right after washing it. Next up are all the pieces. Wash out each slide using a snake or slide brush again. Make sure as you wash off the outside of each slide that you remove all the old slide grease. The same is true for valves. Make sure you wash off all the old valve oil. Scrub each of the holes in the valves with a brush, paper towel, or even pinky finger. Again, if you need to take a break upon seeing the unspeakable things that may be coating the inside of your valves, don't hesitate. You're going to be a changed person after this. Try to avoid dropping springs, hooks, or anything else down your drain for obvious reasons. Your garbage disposal will thank you later. The best way to do this is by only washing one piece at a time. Don't forget to wash your mouthpiece. You should clean your mouthpiece with soap and water on a very regular basis. After you've let everything dry, you'll probably notice spots on your horn that still look like you missed them. Don't let these drive you too crazy. It's okay to just try smearing them out with something soft like your shirt. You must accept that once you pick up a brand new mellophone, it will never be perfect again. It's just a fact of life. Step 3. Polishing your horn. First, determine if your horn even needs polishing. You probably don't need to polish your horn as often as you wash it. If you only ever polish your horn once a season, that's okay. And the best time to do that would be right before your first performance or competition. If you can't get your hands on any silver polish, don't fret. Your horn is hopefully already pretty shiny. Use a polished cloth or soft sponge to smear the polish. After sufficiently spreading purple cream all over your freshly shined horn, it's perfectly normal to say to yourself, "What have I done?" Don't worry, it will be okay. The important places to polish are the front and back of your bell and the bore of your horn until it connects back to the valve casings. You can polish the rest of your horn if you want, but it may not really make much of a difference. Scrub the polish around using your cloth or sponge and introduce some water as well. Continue to scrub as you rinse off the polish. Taking time to enjoy the little things in life is important, so appreciate the purple bubbles while they last. Delicately spot dry your mellow in the same way you did earlier. After you have finished, feel free to examine your work for any imperfections. You will surely find one or two, so do the smudgy thing with your shirt if you must, but it will be in vain. It's okay, you can get over it. Step 4. Reassemble your mellow. Don't forget to re-grease your slides before putting them back in. Remember that you will only need to put slide grease on the very end of the slide. When putting the thumb slide back in, pull it in all the way and fully screw in the screw before letting it go back out. This screw is what keeps the thumb slide from not going out too far, so you want to make sure that it's fairly tight. Oil your valves before putting them back in too. Make sure each valve is put back into the right spot. You can identify each valve by the number stamped onto the gold part. Congratulations, you successfully cleaned your Mellophone. Look how shiny it is! For the next couple of weeks, you'll be anxious about setting your Mellophone down anywhere, and that's okay. That's just the price of making all your section mates jealous.